Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me with Adventures in Climate Change. We're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Should we spend more money? What should we spend money on? What are we doing? What's happening with the Earth? Why is the ice melting? All these questions that a lot of people have answers for. A lot of people have peer reviews and things. A lot of things made sense. I think the recent videos, Ralph Ellis, thank you. Actually, we haven't watched his videos yet, but his videos will be coming. Today, actually, we're getting off the ice caps and we're going with George Carlin. Okay, I just want to do something funny because there's usually a lot of truth to comedy as well. They usually pick something that, you know, is rooted in truth, at least. This is from the New Hoser 10580 on George Carlin, and man, I subscribe to the channels that I check out, so we'll subscribe there. We'll check it out. It's George Carlin, man. If it's funny, I'll give him a like. I might have seen this before. I've seen a lot of George Carlin in the past. I don't know if I've seen this though. Through the years though, man, George Carlin. Okay, let's get into it.
You got people like this around you. Country's full of them now. People walking around all day long, every minute of the day, worried about everything. Worried about the air, worried about the water, worried about the soil. Worried about insecticides, pesticides, food additives, carcinogens. Worried about radon gas, worried about asbestos. Worried about saving endangered species. Let me tell you about endangered species, all right? Saving endangered species is just one more arrogant attempt by humans to control nature. It's arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. Doesn't anybody understand that? Interfering with nature.
Yeah.
Over 90%, way over 90% of all the species that have ever lived on this planet, are gone. They're extinct.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
We didn't kill them all.
There's a lot of bones.
They just disappeared. That's
something killed them. I do think that, you know, you take responsibility for what you do, and especially how wasteful our everybody is nowadays. I mean, you can't help, you know, the stuff we're burying, the garbage in the water, the garbage in the space, floating around, debris. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, we got to take certain responsibility, but it's funny.
That's what nature does. They disappear these days at the rate of 25
things are gonna take
a
over,
day.
it's true.
And I mean regardless of our behavior. Irrespective of how we act on this planet, 25 species that were here today will be gone tomorrow. Let them go gracefully.
I wonder if that's true.
Leave
That's a
nature
lot of
alone.
animals.
Haven't we done enough?
25 a day. I wonder if that's a real stat, or if that's just like mutations of ones that very few population or something. I don't know. That's strange.
We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's going to save something now. Save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't even know how to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't learned how to care for one another. We're going to save the fucking planet? I'm getting tired of that shit. Tired.
What's the planet supposed to be?
I'm tired of fucking Earth.
Is the planet just a hierarchy of things that take it over? And if, you know, we don't take it over, plant life, animal life will take it over, something will take it over. Is that what it is? Is that all of existence? I don't know. Let me know what you think.
I'm tired of these self-righteous environmentalists, these white bourgeois liberals who think the only thing wrong with this country is there aren't enough bicycle paths.
That's so true. It's usually the affluent that they don't have enough problems in their own life. They have to create problems or see problems where there's elsewhere, put their money where their mouth is, and make it a good cause, you know, because ultimately doing things for others makes us feel better than anything, but especially if other people see it and recognize it, right? Okay, so I'm just saying, and oftentimes they are white because it's usually women that get involved in that type of stuff. So, and they gotta save everything. I mean, do your part, but save everything.
People trying to make the world safe for their Volvos. Besides, environmentalists don't give a shit about the planet. They don't care about the planet. Not in the abstract, they don't. Not in the abstract, they don't. You know what they're interested in?
Money.
A clean place to live.
Oh, clean
their
place.
own habitat. They're worried that someday in the future they might be personally inconvenienced. Narrow, unenlightened self-interest doesn't impress me. Besides, there is nothing wrong with the planet. Nothing wrong with the planet. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. Difference. The planet is fine.
Sorry for the vulgarity.
Compared to the people, the planet is doing great. Been here 4.5 billion years. Did you ever think about the arithmetic? Planet has been here 4.5 billion years. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe 200,000? And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion. And we have the conceit to think that somehow we're a threat? That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just a-floating around the sun? The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through all kinds of things worse than
Asteroids,
us.
volcanoes,
Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles, hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment by comets and asteroids and meteors, worldwide floods, tidal waves, worldwide fires, erosion, cosmic rays, recurring ice ages, and we think some plastic bags and some aluminum cans are going to make a difference? The planet.
He is right to some degree. We're not really trying to save the planet. We're trying to save human existence on the planet. I mean, it is a bit arrogant, but ultimately, if you do something that causes a dramatic shift, then it's usually future generations, because we only live so long, they have to deal with it. So, and then it's usually the future generation, or the young ones, that are making a big stink about it, because they're just like, what about us? What about our future? And then when they get older, they'll find different things to think about, and the younger generation can take that torch and run with it.
Planet isn't going anywhere.
It's not.
We are. We're going away. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away. And we won't leave much of a trace either. Thank God for that. Maybe a little styrofoam. Maybe. Little styrofoam. Planet will be here and we'll be long gone. Just another failed mutation. Just another closed-end biological mistake. An evolutionary cul-de-sac. The planet will shake us off like a bad case of fleas. A surface nuisance.
Yeah.
You want to know how the planet's doing? Ask those people at Pompeii who are frozen into position.
That's true.
From volcanic ash.
Took them.
How the planet's doing. Want to know if the planet's all right? Ask those people in Mexico City or Armenia or 100 other places buried under thousands of tons of earthquake rubble if they feel like a threat to the planet this week. How about those people in Kilauea, Hawaii, who build their homes right next to an active volcano and then wonder why they have lava in the living room?
If you're on the Big Island,
will be here for a
continually
long, long time after we're gone, and
That's
it will
my family
heal
from.
itself, it
Some
will
of it.
cleanse itself, because that's what it does. It's a self-correcting system. The air and the water will recover, the
Everything's
earth will be
self-correcting.
renewed, and if it's true that plastic is not degradable, well, the planet will simply incorporate plastic into a new paradigm, the Earth plus plastic. The Earth doesn't share our prejudice towards plastic. Plastic came out of the Earth. The Earth probably sees plastic as just another one of its children. Could be the only reason the Earth allowed us to be spawned from it in the first place. It wanted plastic for itself. Didn't know how to make it. Needed us. Could be the answer to our age-old philosophical question, why are we here?
To make plastic.
Plastic. Assholes.
Oh, that's too funny.
The plastic is here. Our job is done. We can be phased out now. And I think that's really started already, don't you? I mean, to be fair, the planet probably sees us as a mild threat, something to be dealt with. And I'm sure the planet will defend itself in the manner of a large organism, like a beehive or an ant.
I mean, we're at 8 billion people right now, so there are people dying constantly, but there's a lot of people being born. So the population, and I think that's a good thing. I think the Earth can take way more than 8 billion people, and I think the estimates on what the experts think it could take, I think it's way more. You know, the ingenuity, that adaptability of humans. I think if you have a positive approach to it, you can make a large difference. And I think nowadays there is a lot of people running around in fear and scared and stuff. And I do think that there is a lot of people that don't believe that we should have that many more people on the earth. And that's sad. That's sad. Eventually, you know, this might happen. We'll phase ourselves out. In fact, that's what's already happening, I think. You know, mass viruses, things going out, people creating things. What do you think is happening? You know, I mean, the population is going to level out or go down. I think people are scared right now. But regardless, not to get all, you know, who knows? What do I know? This is funny though. George Carlin, he never gets old on this.
Colony can muster a defense. I'm sure the planet will think of something. What would you do if you were the planet trying to defend against this pesky, troublesome species? Let's see. What might... viruses. Viruses might be good. They seem vulnerable to viruses. And viruses are tricky, always mutating and forming new strains whenever a vaccine is developed. Perhaps this first virus could be one...
That's too funny.
That compromises the immune system of these creatures. Perhaps a human immunodeficiency virus, making them vulnerable to all sorts of other diseases and infections that might come along. And maybe it could be spread sexually, making them a little reluctant to engage in the act of reproduction. Well, that's a poetic note. And it's a start. And I can dream, can't I? See, I don't worry about the little things. Bees, trees, whales, snails. I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. Know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. Whoa. 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 It doesn't punish. It doesn't reward. It doesn't judge at all. It just is. And so are we. For a little while. Thanks for being here with me for a little while tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He is a classic. I don't know where you got this bit. You probably just stole it. I'll give you a 32K like. That is too funny. 3.3 million views in 13 years. Oh, thank you, the new hoser. I don't know if you're putting new stuff up, but that was too funny. George Carlin never gets old. A lot of that stuff is pretty truthful. He has a similar way of looking at things. I'm pretty calloused on things. I do think that the virus he was talking about was a different one. That was he was doing jokes in the 80s and 90s when HIV and AIDS was I mean not that it's not a serious thing right now, but it's it was killing people. It was scary for those people. I was a kid, but the virus now man-made, or what many think to be man-made, so look, it's funny stuff. Do we really need to focus on climate change? I think we need to focus on being good stewards of the earth, of course. Trying to not be, you don't want it to be ugly, you don't want it to kill everything, a lot of that plastic and stuff that everybody got scared of was because, I don't know if you know the soda, the 6-pack things that the turtles would get stuck in and fish would get stuck in, and then they'd overgrow it. They'd swim around with it and they'd overgrow it, and, it'd grow around them. I don't think that's happening all the time, but that we got to be conscious of that type of stuff. There's a lot of things smaller than us. And, I do think we should over time definitely be conscious of that and look to do better and take care of our neighbors. I personally think that people need to take care of people. We need to focus on people more than we do the climate, and the trillions of dollars or billions of dollars and whatever go into the climate, I think works itself out through capitalism, solar panels, new fusion techniques. Fusion was just like really with a net positive discovered just like a week ago. I mean, I think there's a future in all that stuff. I don't think we should demonize what we currently have, and that's my only take on that. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. We're going to get back to the science, and you guys can go back to your drinking game. Every time I look at the screen with a blank stare, you take a shot. In the meantime, if you're not subscribed, I'd love a click there. A like would be fantastic. And I hope to catch you on the next video.